How have forced the presiding officer to suspend a sitting of the National Assembly. Earlier today, they chased MPs out of committee meetings in Parliament. The workers started their campaign at committee meetings taking place at the National Council of Provinces, and they've been moving around into the National Assembly area. They removed members of the Trade and Industry Committee that was still in session. This comes after the union and the management of Parliament deadlocked once again over the percentage calculations of performance bonuses for staff. Well, for more from Parliament, we cross to our reporter Lukhanyo Calata. Lukhanyo, very good afternoon to you. So workers vowing to intensify their strike action. Are we going to see a bigger disruption than what we saw earlier this month with the initial stages of the strike?
Natasha, good afternoon. Yes, definitely already bigger than what we saw earlier this month. Today, what essentially happened is that the workers went into the public gallery of the National Assembly and then literally prevented a sitting of the National Assembly from taking place. That sitting was supposed to start at around 10 o'clock. The workers started moving in about 30 minutes to 15 minutes prior to the sitting, and they were singing songs, essentially making good on their promise yesterday to intensify their struggle for performance bonus payouts. We spoke a little bit earlier on, while all of that was taking place, we spoke to the branch chairperson of NEHAW of exactly why were they in the National Assembly, and this is what he said.
While we are busy, we've been engaging with him. Yesterday we were talking with him, today we're supposed to meet with him, but then we heard that they're deducting our salaries again. That is arrogance, in contravention of the laws, as we said. So we are not going to allow that. Enough is enough.
Natasha, and obviously the deduction of the salaries is quite a massive contentious issue for the workers, because they've been on strike now for about 10 days, broken up, but it's been 10 days, and obviously Parliament does deduct that money from their salaries, and that for the workers seems to have tipped them over the point. Natasha?
All right, so what have political parties made of this disruption? What's the reaction been?
To a very large extent, the political parties feel very aggrieved by the disruption, particularly of the National Assembly this morning, because they feel that they are here elected by the public to come and discuss and represent the South Africans from every corner and to do the business of running the country. So when they then come to Parliament, they've fulfilled part of their mandate. And when they get here and they can't do what they're supposed to do, they were very upset about it, and a large number of them blamed specifically the management of Parliament for failing to address this matter, very critical issue, for taking such a long time. But we spoke to some of them, and this is what they had to say.
It's a matter of grave concern for us, and we remain hopeful that there will be some resolution to the current impasse between the leadership of NEHAW and the management of Parliament.
It's not right that the business of the National Assembly is disrupted, but equally it's not right that Parliament seems to be dragging its feet on dealing with this matter. They allowed protests on the precinct originally, and they opened the door. This was a natural conclusion of the inability to deal with the situation properly right from the beginning. So what we're seeing today is crunch time now for the ANC and for Parliament's presiding officers, because this is now starting to affect the operation of the National Assembly.
In fact, this is a long overdue. I was hoping that the NEHAW members would have come on Thursday when State President was here, because they are not being taken serious by the ANC.
So while we were saying this is unfortunate, but I think the workers had no choice. They're using whatever tactics they can to try and pressure the management to agree to some sort of a deal.
The leadership of Parliament does need to step up to ensure that this thing is resolved as soon as possible. We're supposed to go on recess. There's so much work to be done, and I'm worried we might not be able to do all the work that we're supposed to be doing.
There you have it, Natasha, the political parties' reactions in their own words to the disruption of the National Assembly earlier this morning. Over to you, Natasha.
And Lukhanyo, the rest of the day's plans for the House sittings, is this going to disrupt the sitting this afternoon?
Natasha, the union and the staff have said that they are going to remain in the press gallery for the rest of the day, which obviously means that the House sitting this afternoon is at this stage still very much up in the air. We don't know how it's going to go. When we spoke to the ANC a little bit earlier on, they said to us that there was a meeting with the political heads of Parliament, the presiding officers. They were meeting with the management as well as with the union to try to find some form of mechanism, some form of solution to make sure that the House isn't disrupted this afternoon, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. Remember, this is the last week where, in essence, the House was supposed to sit with Parliament and then expected to rise on Thursday afternoon, shortly after President Jacob Zuma would have appeared in the National Council of Provinces to address them. So a critical week where the work of Parliament has been disrupted. We're hoping that a solution is found ahead of this afternoon's sitting, and we'll obviously try to keep you abreast of those developments as soon as we hear any news. Natasha?
Absolutely. Lukhanyo, thank you very much. Lukhanyo Calata live from Parliament in Cape Town.